What's going on, warriors? And welcome back to another conversation on narcissistic abuse recovery. I'm your host, Baron, and today we're going to be talking about an interesting topic. The New Age narcissist, who they are, and 7 ways to identify them. Now, I'm going to start this off a little backwards. I'm going to start it off by contradicting what I just said. Right, the New Age narcissist. Because there's no such thing. You see, narcissism isn't a new concept. It isn't a new disorder. You've had ancient kings, ancient queens that have built monuments to themselves. They had loyal subjects. They objectified people that they felt they were better than. That objectification led to countless abuses and atrocities all throughout history. And then what happened is that those big narcs had little baby narcs. Don't get stuck up on the term baby, because essentially what can happen in order to produce another narcissist, if you have that power and authority, you can influence those under you. So not only through their offspring, but through their influence and through the atrocities that they did throughout history. So fast forward to present day, the New Age narcissist, it's the same thing. It's just that now narcissism is running rampant. And what really perpetuates this is that technology is actually aiding the disorder. How so, you say? Well, in order to build your monument now, all you need is a social media account. Think about the accounts you come across where it's 52 selfies in a row. Just all different poses of duck faces. People showing off a lifestyle that's better than what they actually live. And all their followers, all the likes, those are the subservient people underneath them. That's their little kingdom now in the New Age narcissism. Okay, so New Age narcissism, old school narcissism, it's all the same thing. They're all in the same part. But who are these people? When I asked that question, I had a whole list planned out of stuff that I wanted to say. But then I was like, oh, hold on. It's already perfectly described in here. These are your 2 Timothy people. Your 2 Timothy chapter 3. For those of you that know, you know what I'm talking about. But let's go through it. Let's read through it real quick. But know this, that in the last days perilous times will come. For men will be lovers of themselves, lovers of money, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy, unloving, unforgiving, slanderous, without self-control, brutal, despisers of good, traitors, headstrong, haughty, lovers of pleasure rather than lovers of God, having a form of godliness, but denying its power. That definition in 2 Timothy chapter 3 is all you need to know about what a narcissist is. Lovers of self, lovers of money, the greed, the cruelty, the unloving, it's all captured here. Every description that's in this book can be applied to the present day narcissist as well as the past narcissist. So now that you got a thorough description of what that narcissist is, let's jump into the 7 signs on how to identify him. So let's jump into it straight with number 1. Number 1 is grandiosity. Now, grandiosity, you may have heard this term thrown around a little bit. It's the excessive or exaggerated sense of self-importance. These are the people that have to be the life of the party. These are the people that when you're talking, they have to shift the conversation back on them. These are the people that when you're going through the discard, you'll never find anybody as good as them. What are you thinking to be walking out or to allow them to walk out on you? Number 2 is a compound one. They're often very superficial and very materialistic. Part of being the greatest human being on the planet Earth, you got to showcase that. You got to have the hottest brand names, the best cars, the best house. You're going on the best vacations. Your partner just can't be a loving partner. They got to have the ripped up abs. They got to be the breadwinner or they have to be the arm candy. So either they're the trophy wife or the trophy husband. Either way, they have to serve some type of purpose to elevate the narcissist, to showcase how grandiose they really are. Then that jumps into number 3 as well. So when you get all that stuff working together, when they putting on that mighty fine show, and when that social media account, and when they walking through the crowds, and when they walking through the street looking all, they got everything put in place how they want it, there's a desire for admiration. They don't just want to know they're the baddest thing on the planet. They want to hear it from everybody else. They want likes. They want followers. They want you groveling. They want to be put on a pedestal while you're in a relationship. These people fully exhibit many kings and queens. Not in a respectful manner, but in a manner of, I deserve everything I'm getting. I'm the royalty on this earth, and everyone needs to be bowing down to me. The number 4 thing to look out for is a complete and utter lack of empathy. Pay attention to the words complete and utter. We're not talking about somebody that don't care to see the evening news tonight because they don't want to be bothered with the negativity. We're talking about somebody that's right in your inner circle, can watch you grieving. Somebody close to you love may have passed, and they'll sit there with a blank stare, not knowing what to say to you, and then quick to pass the joke or quick to change the topic so they don't even have to pretend to be empathetic. I actually vividly recall having a conversation with a narcissist where one of their coworkers had lost a child at a very young age. I'm not sure if the child was stillborn, or I know there were complications after the child was born, and they passed, and they were holding a funeral for the child. And the narc actually looked me in the face, laughing and giggling as she was about to head to the funeral, talking about, well, I don't know how to act at a funeral for a baby. I've never been to one. What should I do? And at the time, I was deeply disturbed. But I didn't know anything about narcissism. I didn't know anything about their lack of empathy. So I took that red flag and I convinced myself it was something else. I convinced myself, all right, maybe it's their nervousness and they don't know what to do. But even after that conversation, that was something that never left me, because deep down I knew that wasn't nervousness speaking. That was a complete and utter not being able to feel what those parents felt. But yet you were still walking into a funeral to, it's not even parent respects if you don't feel the empathy. You were just doing it just for show. So if you got somebody exhibiting signs of a complete and utter lack of empathy, on top of all that other stuff, on your way to Narcissist Town. Let's jump into number 5. These people are often very possessive and very controlling. You're out somewhere and that other person, that narcissist, is quick to let everybody know who you are. This is my boo. You get in conversations with people with the opposite gender, they're quick to make sure that they come around and grab your arm. Don't get too comfortable around him or her. And it seems a little cute, it seems a little flattering at first, but as it persists, you start to understand this is kind of an uncomfortable level of possessiveness and controlling. This is more like the toddler that has a toy and doesn't want to share. This is more like you being the boo thing have actually been objectified. You belong to them now, and they're making everyone else aware, hey, don't touch this, this is mine. If you got possessive controllerness on that level, be wary, because it starts off cute, but then if you stay in it long enough, it progresses to something really ugly, and it could progress to something really dangerous. Because if they think they own you, what do you think are some of the things they'll resort to when you try to escape that abusive and toxic situation? Please keep that in mind. The number 6 thing to look out for, there's a pit in that narcissist. There's an emptiness in them. There's a void that they're constantly trying to fill. And okay, you're saying to yourself, how are you going to know? How are you going to know that offhand just dealing with this person? It kind of comes across as a state of boredom. Like they just can't be happy in the house. They just can't be happy in your presence. They just can't be happy doing nothing. They always want to do something. They always want to go somewhere, want to go to a restaurant, want to go out. And what you'll come to understand is even when you're out doing something, that emptiness, that void is still present. So what they do is they'll start doing impulsive stuff while they're out. Either impulsive or reckless. When you go out and there's too much drinking, there's too much smoking, they jumping on the bar, they dancing all crazy. At the beginning, it may seem like this is a fun person. This is a great person to be around. But you're not picking up on the fact that they're trying to fill a void. They're always trying to fill this void. That's the dangerous part about it. None of that stuff you're doing is filling the void. But the second you're gone, that void still has to be filled. There are other people in the world to fill it. That's when stuff starts sneaking into the relationship. Outside sources start not really so much sneaking in, but they invited in to fill that void. And here's where it gets even uglier, is that the longer you're with a narcissist, your supply, the energy, the life force you're giving them to fill that void, it starts to get stale because they're getting it over and over and over again. So you're less effective at filling that void, no matter what you do. So that outside relationship is inevitable at that point. Keep that in mind. Starts off fun, and it ends up being torture. And the last note I want to leave y'all with today, the number 7 thing to look for is actually a combination. It's a toxic combination though. Their lack of integrity and their lack of remorse. I need you to understand how these two play with each other. Their lack of integrity. Remember what we were talking about before, where they need to fill that void and they start looking at outside sources to fill that void? There's nothing, since there's no integrity, there's no moral compass to tell them not to do that. There's nothing there whatsoever. So you compound that with the fact that they feel entitled to do what they want to do. That impulsivity. Now there's no integrity either. That's what fuels them to go out and do the things that they do. That's what fuels them for the outside relationship. That's what fuels them for the abuse. That's what fuels them towards anything negative or positive, regardless of how it affects you. That gives them supply and validation. And guess what? If it does negatively affect you, if it is breaking your heart, if that abuse is slowly killing you, they have no remorse. They don't feel bad that you're slowly breaking. Honestly, the way the narc looks at it, if the toy they're playing with now breaks, they'll just throw it away and go get another one. And that's the nasty, scary, and ugly truth about this narcissism thing. It's not a new era. It's not a new age. It's the same group of toxic, negative, entitled, spoiled brats doing what they've been doing for years. But you know, I always give you the silver lining. You are built completely different than them. You will never stoop to that level. And now that you're getting information like this, whether it be on this channel or any other channel, you're going to be equipped to avoid them in the future. With that being said, take this information, absorb it, get as much of it as you can. I wish you the best in your healing journey. I thank you for allowing me to have this conversation. I thank you for allowing me to have this time of fellowship. When you get a chance, go into 2 Timothy chapter 3. It gives you everything you need to know. I thank y'all. If you enjoyed the content, like, comment, subscribe, and I'm looking forward to making many more. So again, y'all have a good one. I love you, and peace.